It's a close race. It's all about turnout at this point. I suspect that we'll find out in 48 hours how successful these suppression tactics have been. That is the one concern that I have. The only way, in my opinion, for Joe Biden not to be successful on Tuesday is for voter suppression to be successful.
Hi, you just heard Congressman Clyburn of South Carolina outline his concerns that voter suppression would be the reason that Biden might lose in 2020. The problem with Clyburn's comments are that voter suppression was not directed at Biden supporters during the 2020 electoral process. It was directed against Republicans, and particularly Trump supporters. But to hear the media and Democrats, you would think that an all-out war to suppress Democrat voters by the Republicans was waged. This is another episode of fake news. Democracy requires trust in government institutions for it to survive. Democracy cannot survive if the electoral process cannot be trusted. Voter suppression has been a part of elections since the beginning of this republic. The techniques have ranged from poll taxes, voter ID requirements, burdensome voter registration requirements, to literacy requirements. The objective of each technique was to limit the ability of one group to exercise his or her right to participate in the election process. This is in direct contradiction to the right of every citizen to participate in the electoral process. This is necessary in order to make the elected representatives responsible to the will of the people. All the people. Today we see the introduction of new voter suppression techniques. Subtle techniques. Pollsters and the media, both print and video, are purveyors of these new techniques. The introduction of voter polling that gives one side an exaggerated lead in the polls. An exaggerated lead that is falsely calculated and reported. This happened a lot. Take this seriously. Now, why would pollsters do this? Why would the media publish such falsely skewed polling results? Simple. To demotivate. That's right, to demotivate the side that is on the losing side of the polls from going to vote. The more the media publishes false voter polls, the less likely the voter on the losing side of the polls is to vote. The voters say to themselves, why expend the energy to vote if there is no hope of winning? This is what happened in 2020. Most pollsters presented results that were heavily favored, skewed in favor of Biden. These were false. Again, the object was to keep Trump supporters from voting. This form of voter suppression, although less overt than past techniques, has been effective. But it can only have been effective with the aid of the media. A media that happily published the false and skewed polling results. Distrust in the voting process will be heightened by this. Add the mess associated with flooding the country with unsolicited mail-in ballots, and there can be little hope that most of America will continue to have faith in the election process in the United States. Biden will probably be declared the winner in the 2020 presidential race. But I don't think Americans on either side will come out of 2020 with any faith in the electoral process. Certainly, they should have no faith in the false election polls that have been forced on the country by what could only be described as partisan pollsters. Yes, partisan pollsters working for one side and working to undermine the other side. Think about this the next time you look at polling results in the future. It can affect either party, so beware, be skeptical. Well, I hope this helps. Have a good day.
Thank you.